questions while Joseph takes us through the topics for today. So today's agenda, and as well, the meeting will try as much as possible to stay within the time limit of 90 minutes. You are encouraged to network and share your LinkedIn profile URL in the chat. Please keep mute until the question and answer time. And we hope you have a wonderful session. So at this point, I'm going to hand over to Joseph. Joseph, it's over to you, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good to have you here. And today we'll be looking at Excel automation and data manipulation later on in the session. So let me share my screen. Okay. So yeah, so we'll be looking at Excel automation. So what is Excel automation? It's basically a technique used to automate repetitive or time-consuming tasks in Microsoft Excel using software tools or coding techniques. Excel automation can be used to automate tasks such as data entry, calculations, and report generation, and it can lead to improved accuracy, efficiency, and cost savings. So there are two ways to interact with Excel workbooks in UiPath Studio, and that is the file access level and the Excel app integration. So we'll be looking at these two methods of interacting with Excel workbooks today. And basically, this is just a comparison of the two methods. So one thing we should note with the two methods is for workbook activities, Excel installation is not required, while for app integration activities, Excel installation is required. Then as far as compatibility goes, workbook activities work only with .xlxs and .xlx files. So other extensions like CSV and XLXM are not compatible. So generally, the workbook activities are limited to basic activities, while with the Excel app integration, we can do more. There are a wider range of activities. So if you have your UiPath Studio open, let's go into it. So I'll begin by creating my process in Studio. So we should give it a name. Let's call it Excel Automation Demo. So, okay, Excel Automation Demo. So creating my process. So for this process, we also need input data. I created one earlier, but I think I'll just create one so can all be on the same page. So let me do that. So first of all, we'll be looking at how to create a folder within Studio. So you can do that by coming here, right-clicking and clicking on Add to add a folder. So let's say the folder, we want to name it Input. So this is where we have our input files. So yes, the folder is here. So let's go ahead to create an Excel file and populate it. So let me open Excel. So let me call this, the first column will be class. Let's see the male for the second column, and the third is female. So let's say we have this. So we are going to imagine that this is like a university now, and we have various courses. And basically here we have the number of male students and the number of female students. So maybe in this automation, we want to find out the total number of students in the class by adding up the number of male students and the number of female students and imputing it in this column. I say that's the automation. So let's give the classes. So let's say mechatronics. You guys can also leave some suggestions in the chat. So let's say biochemistry, just top of my head. And say physics. Okay, so the data can be much more than this, definitely. But for the sake of time, let's just work with this. We have, let's say, 13 male students and let's say 23 female students. Yeah, maybe 15, yeah, 17. Just using random numbers here. So let's say 34, yeah, and 15. Yeah. So okay, so let's say this is what we have. So we would like to save it. So I would like to save it in my project folder, the one I just created. So I can just come here, open the folder here and copy the path. So let's go to save as, browse and paste that part here. Okay, so it should be in this folder now. What happened? Okay, let me just save it again. I know what I want. So it's called class details or something.
You are still saving inside documents, within the project folder.
I
Or you could save,
copied.
or you could save it in my documents and then cut the file and go and paste in your
Okay,
project.
it's here now. So okay, so I'll just save it now. I should be able to see it in the folder, project folder here. So it's here now. So we have our data and we can begin automation. So the first thing we need to look at, so by default, it's in the modern, we're going to be using the modern activities, but you can actually change it here in the project settings for Excel. That's Excel modern. So by default, you can see it's using the project level, I mean the studio level here. So whatever is specified in studio, that's what it will be picking with this option. But you can choose whether you want the classic or the modern, but we're not going to change the entire activities here. We just need few of them. So we can just get them here by clicking on the activities panel and filtering for the activities we need. So under classic. So that's how you get the classic activities anyway. So let's just bring in Excel process scope. Then the use Excel file. Okay, so now we need to specify the file path. That's where we can find the file in the project folder. So this is the file. So we just click on it and yes, we specify the file. So next we need to, so we are going to look through each row in that file to get some values, then add them together. So the number of male and the number of females, will get them, then add them together. So that's the logic of the process. So let's just bring in a for each Excel row. So also we would like to give the column a name. So that's, the column doesn't exist at the moment, but there should be maybe a column name, maybe total or something there. So let's bring in insert column activity. Okay, so we'll need to specify the range. We can just use sheet 1 here. And the relative columns. So by default, you see that it has read the file and just got provided some suggestions here. So we can just pick. So I think the last column there is female. So I'll be picking female, then the name of the column we want to create. Let's call it total. And you can also set the data type. So general is fine. So for each row in that Excel file, what do we want to? So now we need to specify the range. So so we would like to read each row and get the value. So we'll be using right cell here and the formula in that right cell to get the values and add them up. So it says what to write. So what do we want to write?
Hello, Joe.
Yes, Razak.
Yeah, I think can you slow down? Maybe probably some maybe practicing alongside so that they can probably cope. And if you
Oh,
have
okay.
any question in
Yes, please go on.
if he's moving forward, you can draw his attention in the chat. Or maybe when you're lost at any point in time, you can draw our attention in the chat so that we'll let him know. All right, thank you.
Nice. Thank you so much. So at this point, I think if you have any question, you can also drop it in the chat, or if I'm moving too fast, please let us know in the chat. So that'll be helpful.
You can also ask if they are at this point,
Yes.
if they are with you.
Okay, so so far, are you all with me? Are we moving at a good enough pace? And basically, is everyone able to practice along?
So Emmanuel Peter says yes, please. Same with Ebele Chukwu.
Okay, thank you so much for that feedback.
AG. So I think you can go on.
Okay, so so we can say current row dot by index or by field. So I think it's fine to use by field or by index, depending on what you want to specify. So if you'll be specifying the field, you should know that this is you'll be specifying the name of the columns. But if you are specifying by index, then you need to provide the index of those columns. I think this is 0, 1, 2. So for this demo, let's just use by field. Make sure you also check this box has a dash. So so by field we have class and so what field is that? Male and So we want to add them up. So we'll just use plus here. We can copy and paste this here, then change this to female. So we'll be adding up the male and female. So that's the formula we have here. Then where do we want to write this value? So we would like to write it in the total column. That's the one we created in the automation. So let's just add that here. Okay, so, and that's it. Just making sure everything is. So that's it. So if we, so one thing with the Excel automation, you can leave Excel integration, you can have your Excel file open and it still run. So for that particular file. So yes, we've okay, so okay, so but you can see here, it was actually because the column I specified. So here you see that in the insert column we have female here. So maybe it should have been male. Okay, it's because of I chose before instead of after. So depending on what you do here, makes it really doesn't. Well, basically, if you want it here, you need to bring it there. So I chose before, that's why we have it there. So
So
that's
can
it.
you, Joseph, can you delete the column and run it again so that it's after, so that we can all see?
Okay, let me do
Yeah.
that.
So we can delete the entire column so that we see. So this time, let it be after the female. So let's see whether whether Studio is able to put the column at the end.
Okay. So yeah, so it was able to do that. So you can just, check the total, confirm if it's correct, and that's it. So let's move on with the classic activity. So let's just create another.
Excuse me, will it be easier instead of creating new column on fly to have this column total already exist in the Excel and simply point to this column? So new value will be written in this column, or it's need to be done this way?
No,
Thank
if we created it manually, that we added the column name manually, it's all the same. So you can see here that I use this activity, that's the insert column, to insert it. But if it is existing, I just need to, I won't need to include this insert column. I'll just specify the column that I created.
Thank you.
Okay. So
Okay, Joseph, you have a question in the chat. It says, would current row dot female give the same results as current row dot by field of female? So you could check the chat to
okay,
that's
let me check.
question from Togo. So that deals with what you were trying to do when you were trying to write a cell, the equation expression you put there.
Okay, so for this now, you need to specify this by field, unless it won't be valid. Does that answer the question? if we're using it in, let's say for a classic, maybe within Studio, maybe this was a data table, that might work, but we are using Excel automation now in this case, so we need to specify the by field. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, he said he has gotten it, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
you can
thank
proceed.
you.
One more question about these two fields, male and female. If between these two fields will be several other columns, the system will recognize that they are both in different place because it's by name, or it will be difficult to figure out if it's not one by one next to each other.
No, so I don't think the position affects it as long as the header is specified as male or female, it will pick it up. So whatever you specify, that's what it will be looking out for.
So Marina, did you get that? So it doesn't matter if the column is on column A, Q, or J, or K, as long as you're able to specify the column heading, the bot will be able to track that column.
Thank you. So if, as example, column will be not specified by name, but by the column A and B, and if the value is not in A and B, then it will not working properly.
So
better
if you,
name,
so that,
not column.
so there are three ways you could track your data during runtime. So if you saw when Joseph was trying to create your automation, if a column already has data, the Excel extension from Studio is able to detect what columns have those data. That's why you could see column A, column B, column C. But you could also decide to use the column header, which Joseph used in his example, or you could use the index like he mentioned. And that's why your column A index counts from 0. So your column A will be index position 0. Column B will be index position 1. So if you know the column you want your bot to work on, you just need to down count from 0 up to that column, and you will have the index number to use within your expression. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. Joseph, please go on.
Okay, so I'm going to try something new, something else. So let's say we have, instead of just one file, we have to read multiple files in Excel. So I'll just be creating another file. So let's say we have, can someone just drop in the chat a suggestion for the courses for the class? We can have just one row.
Double says mechanics. Billy says intro tech. Peter is saying computer science. So you could use any of that. Computer science, intro tech, and mechanics.
Okay, computer science. And mechanics. And intro tech. So say we have 22 here, 12. So, okay. So we just Let's call it class details 2. Okay, so let's see if it's here. Good. So we have it here. So now, so let's say for this automation now, we know that we have more than one files to read, but we don't know the file names. All we know is that they will be in a folder. So we know the name of the folder. So for this, we can just use for each file in the folder, for each file and folder. So, and then specify the folder path. So we'll be specifying the input folder. So let me just copy it as a path. Don't think we even need all that. Let's see if we need the full path. Anyway, so
Okay,
you
so
can just, yes.
I wanted to say, apart from that, since it's inside the project folder, you could use it as your
Yes,
root and just put only inputs there.
exactly. So we can just use inputs here. So good. So next we'll bring in our read range activity. So we'll be making use of the workbook read range activity because it's the classic. So we are looking at the classic activities. But for some of us, it might be hidden. So you need to enable it here. So you just click on this filter, then enable it here. So it's enabled already for me, but you can just click on this. So once this classic is checked, you should be able to find your workbook read range activity. So that's it. So next we'll be specifying the file path. So we can just say current file dot full name. This will return. So for each file in this folder, it will pick the name of the file and put it in here. So we need to also specify the sheet name. So for this to be sheet 1. Then also we need, I think I need to hide this. It's in the way. Still in the way. Sorry.
So sorry,
Okay.
sorry, Joseph.
Yes.
Since we are dealing with a folder, use the full path for the folder, not just the name. So
Okay.
copy your file path again, or sorry, your folder path again.
Joseph, or the same, you can create a variable and copy the folder path link into the default and just call the variable name over there into the folder, just for best practice. You can just copy the link, yeah, and probably save it in a variable or maybe in anything. Yeah.
Great. So we have that now. So we want to read each workbook and write it to so maybe we should just rename this to, let's say, input DT. Right. So now we would like to, so for each of those files that we want to bring them together, we want to merge those files into one. So for that, we'll be using the merge data table activity. So the source will be the input DT created just now. Then we need to create a variable for the bulk. So maybe we should call it bulk DT. So it has all the data. So let's call it bulk DT. So just to make sure there won't be any error, we need to initialize that variable. So we can use new data dot data table or just new data table. Either one is fine, but okay. So it's actually this one that needs it. It's fine. Okay. So next we would need to add the column for the what's it called? So we also need to take it out of this. Sorry. Stuff is in the way. So add data column to add the total column. So we'll be adding it to bulk DT. But first, I need to increase the scope of this bulk DT. So right. So what's the column name? Let's call it total. So good. Next, we need to use the for each activity. So for each row in data table. So the data table is bulk DT, and I say current, so it's fine. It's not too generic. Then we'll need an assign activity. So what this does is assign a value to a variable. So in this case, we'll be changing the value of that particular field. So let's say current row. So this for each row in data table, basically it loops to each row in that data table and return each row as a data row. So with that, we can alter the data in that data row. So we just need to specify the column we want to alter. So that will be the total column. And so we would like to add the value in the male and the female column. So just to specify that here. Let me make this bigger. So current row. Plus so this will be male. The other one will be female. Great. So
What is this variable doing? CLNT or function? What is it function?
okay, so it's to convert it to an integer. So this is actually going to return a string. So we want to convert that string into an integer. Can you see this? Let me highlight it. So this returns a string. So we want to convert this string into an integer, then sum it up. So we'll be summing up the male and the female. Does that answer your question?
But it is already integer. It is a 42
No.
or something. It is integer already, no?
Yeah, so numbers can be read as text in Studio.
Okay.
Yes, so this returns a text. So even though it's a number, even though it's 1, 2, or whatever, it sees it as a text. So we would have to convert it to an integer here before we can make use of it. Okay, so let's write it into. So we'll be writing our data table into an Excel file. So we don't have the Excel file doesn't have to be an existing one. We can create one in Studio when we run the process. So let's say, do we have an output folder? We don't. So maybe we should just add an output folder. So let's call it outputs. Great. So now we have an output folder, so we can just say, let's get the file path for this. I don't think, oh, I put it in the input. It's meant to be on its own. Nice. So we have our output folder here. So we can just specify that using, let me expand this, or for best practice, let's create a variable for it. So let's call it output file paths. Nice. So we'll first of all specify the folder. So let's say outputs slash. So what name should we give the file? Let's call it Excel Classic. And specify the extension, which is .xlxs. So like we said earlier, the workbook activities work with only two types, two file extension types. That's the .xls and xlxs. So for this, we specified xlxs. So we can just put in the output parts here. Then what column do we want to write? What spreadsheet do we want to write it in? Let's say outputs. What do we want to write there? That's bulk TT. So yeah, that's it. So this is the first one, and this is the second one. We can take away the total column. The bot will do that. So can also take away this one. So let's save it. Save it and good. Yeah, so let's run it. Okay. So the read range, we didn't specify the what's going on? The full name.
What is the value of what is the content of the variable you are using for that guy?
Your extension is not right. You misspell extension.
This stuff is obstructing. Okay. Okay. This is fine. Sorry, which one?
Check the extension for the file extension.
Yeah, I'm with you. For which one?
Hello,
Saying
Joseph.
line 770 or 730 on 707, something like this.
I'm not getting you.
So Joseph, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so in your input folder, how many files do you have?
We have 2 files.
Okay, so let me see that.
Oh, okay. Why is the main here? That's why. So that's what happened. The main shouldn't be here.
Would also correct by adding a filter to your
Okay, yes, we
each.
can. Yes. Okay, maybe we should demonstrate that. So it's a XAML file. So think SAML. Let me confirm that. Next.
Sorry, for you to move that, do it inside the project pane in Studio. It's easier to do that movement inside the project pane. Did you get me?
No.
Project, yeah. So here, this is where you can bring it out. So drag it out.
Okay. So
Excuse me,
yes.
why you filter by XAML extension? I thought that you're supposed to exclude this extension.
Yeah, so this will remove SML files of this extension.
So this filter saying that it's excluding what you're writing in the field, or it's actually looking for this one to process.
So you're not
Oh,
excluding, you are looking for it. So that's an example.
okay.
You're targeting Excel
So
files.
you
That's
select
Okay,
this.
so yeah, so that will be XLXS. Great, so I don't think a file was good. Okay, it was. Was empty something. So, yes, so this, I think the filter is removing that file, any file with that extension, just to confirm. Let me run it again.
Joe, can we go through over the workflow one by one again?
Yeah, we can. Just give me a minute.
All right.
Okay, good. So yes, I have used something similar. So although it says it will exclude, that's not what it does. So I mean, example. So basically, whatever you specify here, it excludes it from the search. So that's why initially I specified .xaml. So I wanted to remove or eject the XML file. So whatever you
Why
specify
is
here.
this file? Why this file doesn't, when you open it, it doesn't have header? Do we need to specify header somewhere?
Good, you can specify that in the here. So you can click on add headers and it's do just that. So let me, stuff is in the way. Sorry, a minute. Okay. So I've done that anyway. So let me just close this Excel file and run it again. So here, can you see it? We have the headers now.
I have one more question about this kind of activities. If, as example, we have more than 3 columns in the original Excel file, as example, description 1, 2, 3, and whatever, and we don't want them, can we delete these columns when we
Yes.
creating new file? And
Yes,
do we
sure.
need to delete them in each separately, or we can delete them as a bunch?
Great, good
As
question.
example, I have file with 30 columns, I only need 5.
Good. So let's say you have multiple columns, maybe over 20 columns, and you just need maybe 5. You can just as easily specify the columns you need in your filter data table activity. So let me show you how to do that. This stuff is really, it's just moving around. Let me just put it on the left side. Yeah, so this is the filter data table activity, and we can specify bulk DT here. So good, we want to filter out some columns we don't need. So we'll need to specify the ones we need. So you don't need to touch any of this, just go to the output columns part and specify. So if you want to remove the columns or you want to keep it, you just need to specify. So should we specify the ones we want to remove or the ones we want to keep?
So what we want to keep? We don't
Good.
want to remove it.
Okay, so if you want to specify the ones you want to keep, you click on keep. Then let's just copy the, we know them already anyway, but we can just copy them here. So we want to, let's say we want to keep male and female and remove class, right? So we'll just click on, okay, then female. Good, so can have this. So let me delete what we have in the output. So right. So we can remove everything here since we'll be running the process again. Okay, so now we can rerun it. Total doesn't belong to. Okay. It already belongs to that, or is it doesn't? I don't know. Total doesn't belong to the table. Oh, I moved it, but there's what's going on?
So when you keep, you need to specify a new column which you're creating, yes?
So you said?
When you keep only
Okay,
two
good.
columns, so you need to have
So
three.
this feels good. Yeah, that's very good. So we specified just the two. We didn't specify total. So it also removed total. So that's what happened right there. So we just need to specify total. Great. So can just open this. So you can see the first column, that's the class was removed.
One more question about, I'm sorry, I have many questions. So you every time when you rerun it, you empty class, Excel class file. If I don't want to do this, I would like to enter new one. I don't want override. Can I add date, time to this file? So every time when new file created, it will get new timestamp.
Yes, sure. You can set the name of the file. Okay, so let me just quickly show you how to do that. I don't want to take too much of our time, but I'll just quickly show you how to do that. So it's in the file name. You can name your file and include the timestamp in your file name. So let's say here now, instead of this, we can have a more robust name like okay. So let's say DD Y or YY. Yeah. But then add dot XL.
We need time.
Yes, so this will return the time without the delimiter, that's the slash or the hyphen. So we can run this. So you can see this. This is by date.
Thank you.
You
It's very
also use
helpful.
time. Okay.
I see.
Okay, so let's go back to the presentation and at some of the what we have in the theory. So what can you automate? You can use Excel automation to create reports, write and read data. We've seen that. You can use it to sort data. You can also use it to filter data table. We've also been able to practice that. You can use it to pivot table. You can use it to format Excel, work with ranges and check reports for errors, that you can remove duplicate data. There are several steps you can do with it. You can also use it for data extraction and migration. So we can convert a data table to an Excel file. We've done that with the right range activity, and we can also convert an Excel file into a data table with the read range activities. So that's just basically it. So here we have like a picture of some of the activities we have on in Studio for. So on the left, yes, on the left we have the classic activities, if I'm not mistaken. I'm saying. Then I think on the right we have the Excel app integration activities. So yes, so data tables. One of the most important activities in Studio is the data table. So basically it's like a database. It can store various forms of data, large data, and it's very good for all that. So we can do a lot of data processing, looking up values, filtering, sorting data, and so on. So why are data tables important in Excel automation? We can handle a large amount of data. We can use it for large data sets and all that. Then it also improves data accuracy and for better organization, basically. So everything will be in one place and it's structured so you can organize your data better with data tables. Then you can also integrate it with other systems. So it's very useful. So next we will be looking at this.
Sorry, Joseph. I think what I would suggest, because we are out of time, we have barely 27 more minutes. So what you would do, the forum page for these series. Are you with me?
Yeah, yes, sir. I'm watching.
So we are going to post, you're going to post this after this session, you're going to post this on that forum page as a take-home assignment. Then maybe before tomorrow's session, you can post the XAML file of the solution automation, so that they can try their hands. We won't have the time to do this now. So it's nice for us to move to the quiz and then move on to data manipulation.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so okay, go on,
please. Go on.
So this will be our take-home assignment. So I'll just drop it in the forum page. So please look out for this. And tomorrow I'll also send the solution, and that's basically the XAML file. So you can also check how it's done. But I would like you guys to practice and see if you can do it on your own. And if you're having any issues, then the XAML file will be helpful to resolve your issues. So that's it.
Okay, thank you everyone. But Joseph promises he's going to drop this after this session. You can go there to get the instructions and the URL of what you need to do, and then the solution will be dropped tomorrow. So we're going to move on now to the very first part of our quiz. So Joseph, please stop sharing so that Christina can handle this for us. Thank you. Hi, Christina.
Hey, just give me a bit of time so I can set it up. Okay, we're in present mode now. I will share the QR code on screen, so you can join directly, and Afe will share the details of the joining from laptop in the chat. So if you are joining from laptop, watch for the chat. If you want to join from mobile, you have the QR code on screen, which will take you straight into the quiz room. And we'll wait a bit for you to join. Afe, how many questions are we doing in this first round?
We're doing three.
First three questions. Okay. Let's check. If you have any problems or are struggling to get into the quiz room, let me know in chat. You have the details there. Also, the first link will also take you straight into the quiz room. You can also use the second link with the passcode. But the easiest way, if you join from mobile, is to scan the QR code, which I have now on screen. And let's see a bit how many of you joined. We have 6 so far. And we have about 20 people in the session, I think. Maybe we can, okay, we have 16 players now. Sharing a bit more, the QR code. Let's leave it maybe 10 more seconds. At the end of the series, I will also send through the vouchers for those who won the previous sessions and for today. And let's see. Okay, I see we are still 16, so I guess we can start the quiz now. Be ready. And remember to answer fast to get more points. You will have about 15 seconds to answer every question. So I will start the quiz now. Which activity would be your first choice to look through all the rows of a data table? And you have 3 options here: for each row, or do while row. Okay, most of you got it right. Yes, it is for each row of the table, of course. And now let's see the leaderboard. As we don't have that much time, I will move a bit faster. Okay, we have Mahesh in pole position now. Let's go to the next question. Question 2 out of 6. We still have 19 in the room. One more, perfect. Guys, the trainers are not allowed to join the quiz, please remember. Which activity allows you to combine data from 2 data tables into a single data table? And you have 3 options: read range workbook, merge data table, or filter data table. Yes, very similar to the merge activity in Excel. So merge data table is the correct answer. And let's see the leaderboard. Okay, Mahesh is still in pole position. And okay, we lost 2 players on the way. Maybe they can get back in the room. Okay. Let's move to the next question. What happens if you use a write range activity and try to write data in an Excel file that does not exist? It will create a new blank file, throw an error, or create the file and write the data. Okay, so apparently this was a bit more challenging, the question, but the correct answer is create the file and write the data. I will, let's go to the leaderboard again, and then we will move back to the presentation because the time is running short. And I think we have a new leader now, Gautam. Okay, we'll have, I think, 3 more questions till the end in the second session of the quiz. So wait till next time.
Okay, thank you very much, Christina. Over to you now, Joseph. Can we do data manipulation in 15 minutes? Thank you.
Oh, okay. I'll try. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
You can have 20, Joseph.
Thank you. Okay, let's look at data manipulation. Okay, so we have some operations in data manipulation. We have the replace and the contains. So we'll just briefly look at that. So let's just begin. So I'll bring in my assign activity, create my variable. Let's call it display name. So display name, then let's say the message is okay, let's see. Let me bring this up. So I'll be using your name as a placeholder. Then welcome to the demo. Hope you're having a great time. So I'll be using your name as a placeholder. So we'll be using the dot replace operation now to change your name to whatever the user inputs. So we'll be bringing in an input dialog activity. So let's say here we have, so the title of this, let's say it's replace operation. The label should be so the question, let's say, what is your name? And we'll be making use of a text box. You can also try out multiple options for multiple options, basically. There's a way you configure it. There's no time I would have looked into that also. So let's create a variable that will store it. Let's call it username. Okay, then so yes, so let's just bring in a message box. So we want to display replace so what's that text? I think we used placeholder your name, yes. Your name. And we want to replace it with username. Okay. So that's right. So we can just quickly run this. So let me just type in Joseph. So you can see the message. Hello, Joseph. Welcome to the demo. Hope you are having a great time. So you can, whatever you type in there, that's what you to output. So that's for the replace. So we'll be looking at the format next. Let me just bring in a sequence. Oh, I'll just create one. So let's call it format. And so let's say we have I'm bringing a multi-assign. So city name. So in the chat, quickly, please, can you just maybe just tell us where you are from in the chat? So I can use that as okay, a popular city in your country. Just tell us one in the chat so we can use that. So I'll be creating 3 variables. So I need 3 cities.
All right, so we have Jobu,
Joburg.
Joburg, yeah.
Okay, that's Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Is it B-O-L-G or U?
B-R-O-G, B-R-O-G, B-U-R-O-G.
B-U-R-G, yeah.
Okay. All right.
We have Rota. R-O-H-T-A.
Sorry?
R-O-H-T-A-K. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have Abuja.
Good. So let's say we have this and we
Will you add more? Oh, is it okay?
I think it's okay.
All right. Okay. Sorry, Race.
City name 3. Okay. So we'll be using the string dot format for this. So let's bring in a message box. So string dot format. So basically we'll be specifying some placeholders for this. So let's just say so comma 1 and yeah. So what did I do? Okay. Good. So let's also have a comma for outside this. So we have what's the first one? City name 1, city name 2. Sorry, I'm trying to be as fast as I can. Okay. So we can say 1, 2, 3 popular cities around the world. Okay. Let me just replace this with and. Good. So let's say this is what we want to output. So that's what the format operation does. Then let's quickly look at the index of. So we use this to log the index of a particular or a specified character. So let's say the string is let's say Lagos, and let's call it a good string. So, and we want to log the index of let's say so okay, so let's say input string dot index of. So we'll specify the character now of let's say B. Let's see what this will log. So it logged -1 because B does not exist in this string. But let's specify something that exists in the string. Let's say A4. Okay, so it's logged the position of that character in the string. So let's note that a string is actually a collection type variable. So it just logged the position of that character, which is 1. It starts counting from 0. So yes, so we also have I would have loved us to. Okay, so we also have the join. So let me just create one for join. So this will be an array. So we use this to output and items in an array as a string. So let's say array of states. So so the first state is Lagos. It's maybe Abuja. Okay. So we can use string.join message box. String.join. States. Good. So if we run this, so we can see, even though it's a collection, we're able to output it as a string. So, let me just see the next operation. Sorry.
Array of state variable is not case sensitive.
No, we are not checking if it is case sensitive or not. It's just it's an array. So basically we are returning the array as a string, even though it's a collection. So you can also do this with for each activity, but that will be looping through and outputting each item individually. So basically
Sorry,
I was
Joseph.
talking about the name of variable.
The name
have
of variable,
A,
capital and lowercase a, that is what she's talking about.
yes.
Okay, sorry, I didn't get that.
Array of states, capital uppercase A is how you defined it, but you're using it as, that's what she's
Okay,
asking.
okay. It's not case sensitive. Oh, for that, it's not case sensitive.
Okay,
It's
thank
not.
you.
Yeah, it's not, but normally, are you talking about the variable name over the array of states? Most of the times it's advisable in terms of best practices to probably off at least the O, you make it capital, then maybe the states starting with the S, then probably capital.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So next. So we'll be trying out the split. I hope we still have time.
How many more things do you want to show us?
I think for string manipulation, this will stop here. Then we'll move into list.
No, we can't move into list. It's already, we have 4 minutes to go.
Okay, we'll just skip this and go into list. So that, so let's call this lists. So assign activity. It's funny. Okay, let's call this Nigerian cities. So we are creating a list. So let's say new list. List string. Let me expand this so you'll be able to see. So what do we want to put in? Let's say Lagos, Kaduna. What's that? Oh, okay. So the data type, we need to change it to list. So it's a collection. Just search this. You should have it. Okay. So string. Okay. So let's say we want to remove. We want to add. Let's add. Let's say we want to append something else to that collection. Yes, append item to collection. So Nigerian cities is the collection. And maybe we want to append say I need, can I have a popular city that's not in Nigeria? Quickly.
You can use Accra.
Okay, good. So let's say we want to append this to the collection. So we can use for each activity to loop through each item in that collection and maybe log each item. So Nigerian cities. So let's have a message box there. Or right, so that'll be better. So right item. Okay. So good. So if you check the output panel, you will see that we initialized it with two items. We're able to add Accra to the final item. So let's say so basically you can also take out items. So let's say we want to take out Kaduna. So we can also use remove from collection to take out items. So let's say specify the collection Nigerian cities, and let's say the item we want to take out is Kaduna. So we need to bring this up. Okay. So if we run this, so you see Kaduna is omitted. Then let's say we want to log a particular item and we know the position of that item. We can just specify just the position. So let me comment this out. And right line. Okay. So we'll specify the variable Nigerian cities. Let's say we want to log the first item. That's 0. So it's 0 base. So you start counting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So that's to string. Good. So if we run this, it will return the first item in that collection, which is Lagos. So that's one of, so we can also do a sort. So we can also sort items. So let me enable this. So we can invoke codes. Invoke codes. So let's invoke this. Okay, no, that's invoke methods. Yeah, we can invoke methods. So yeah. So we have two types. We have the static and the instance. For static, you will need to specify the target type. Then instance, I think we just need to specify the target object. In this case, the target object will be Nigerian cities, the variable, and the method name is sort. Please ensure you get the capital S correctly, because it is case sensitive. So if you specify a different, it will not recognize that method. So I think that's the issue we're having now. Let me show sort. What's going on? Oh, okay. So yes. So remove the quotes. Shouldn't be in quotes. So we can run this. So what this does is it will sort them in alphabetical order. So even though we did not write them in alphabetical order, it could sort them in alphabetical order. So great. So do we still have like 5 minutes?
No, we don't.
Take
Don't.
5
So,
minutes, Joe.
okay, thank you,
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at dictionaries. So let's bring in a sign activity. What is this? So create the variable. Let's call it bet states. Set the type to dictionary. Okay. Okay. String and string. Okay. So we want to initialize that dictionary. So here we'll say new dictionary of string commands. Right, so let's just write the first name, maybe James, and okay, that's James, and let's say the birth date is 1987. Okay. Okay, I'll duplicate this. Say this is Jane. The birthday is so we can bring in a for each. Say birth dates. That's key. 9/10. It's sorry. Okay. Dates. So let me see. Oh, okay. It's time. Okay, so this will house the birthdays for each of them to convert it into a date time variable. So we just want to get the anniversary of that day and log if it has passed or not. So we can use another assign activity to say the let me just duplicate this. Call it current. It's yeah, anniversary. New date time into brackets. Now That's so that is okay, datetime dot now dot here, dates current person. That's what's months. That's day. So we are creating our custom dates here. So it's just taking the what's missing now. It's taking the year, the day and the month and adding the current year. So that's what's doing there. Let me see. This is a string. What are we having it now? Oh, okay. It's okay. So I think this is fine. So we can just maybe check if and just say what day of the week it was. That's all. Okay. So it's great. So here we can see day of the week. A day of the week. Why is it like? Of the week? Let's just try. Day of. Um, okay. So this is should be a date time. Nice. So we can just put in a log message or whatever. Message box. The Almost done. Sorry. Think. So I need to copy that. Wait. Right. Currency and advanced. Just copy it. Okay. Just click on this. Okay, so that's it. Sorry guys for taking so long. And yes, so I think we've come to an end of this. Sorry, Mr. Afe. Christina.
Okay, so thank you very much, Joseph. So we're
Thank
moving on
you.
to assist us with the quiz. So you can stop sharing your screen. I'll post the Menti quiz link on. So we apologize everyone for taking your time. Let's quickly do this.
Okay, so you also have the QR code again on screen now. And let's see how many of you are currently in the quiz room. For today's session, you will receive the recording and the deck as usual on email and also posted in the forum thread. I will share again with you the forum thread, or Afi, if you can share the forum thread maybe in the chat, please.
Okay.
I hope that was useful for all of you. And let's see a bit more the QR code so you can scan and go back into the quiz room. And let us know in chat if you have trouble joining the quiz room. Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Okay, I think we can start. I see there are 17, 18. Okay, mostly we're all there. Let's go. So remember, you have 15 seconds to answer every question. Which of the following activities searches an input string for all occurrences and returns all the successful matches? And you have the options: matches, replace, or is match. Okay, like we have a divided audience a bit here. Matches is the correct answer. Let's see the leaderboard. Okay, we have a new pole position or title. Let's go for the next question. 2 more questions. And the type of collection that doesn't have a fixed number of elements is known as what? As array, list, or string? So remember, this type of collection does not have a fixed number of elements. Okay. Correct. Yes, the answer is list. Let's see the leaderboard. Okay, we have the same leader. And guys, this is the final question. So this will define our winner for today's quiz. And I hope this quiz is a learning experience for you, a fun learning experience. This is a bit harder to read, but consider the list of strings, list of continents, Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Australia. What is the value for expression list of continents 2? You have 3 options with 3 continents, Antarctica, Asia, and Africa. Correct, yes, most of you got it right. Asia is the answer to this one. And let's see now the final leaderboard. Okay, as I told you, surprises can happen anytime with this quiz. So we have a new pole position and a new winner, Tobil. Yeah, I hope. Congratulations from us. And please DM me now on Zoom your email address. And at the end of tomorrow's session, maybe the day after that, I will send all the winners the vouchers. Thank you very much for joining us for this quiz. Ape?
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us, and so apologies for taking your time. Thank you to our backup facilitators who have helped us in the chat. I'm talking about the 2023 student champion, UiPath student developer champion. I'm talking about Razak, and also our other colleague from Accra, Ghana, Michael Patrick. And so to everyone, please do have a lovely evening. We hope you register for tomorrow's session. It's going to be very interesting. We'll be discussing how you can continue your automation journey. And there's going to be a form you need to fill for those who are interested in participating in the after events program, which will allow you to qualify for an associate developer certification voucher. So please, we would like to have you on the session tomorrow. Do have a lovely evening. Bye.
Bye, everyone.